we are. Here we are. We didn't expect that, but that's what we got. So, hello and good evening. 1-0. 6 people already watching. Plenty of people ready to go. Put your thoughts in the chat, people. Let us know. 1-0 away at Tottenham. Who had that under coupon, eh?
It was 0-0 all that way. I was thinking, oh God, remember what we were talking about earlier? It's going to be a 0-0, put a 5 on it. I was like, bloody hell, it's going to bloody happen, isn't it? And look what happens. But for me, that guy shouldn't even have been on the pitch, you know. But we talk about that. No,
Well, yeah,
welcome.
look, he was, so, you got to stop him or whatever, but yeah. Yeah, everybody, Nalante, welcome people in the chat. Everybody that's here watching. Again, you're not watching the wrong channel. 12 Man is not going to be around this evening. So we're going to be here doing what we need to do. Keep the channel running. Keep it going as it should be. The match reaction. So give us your match reaction. Let us know what you thought. Nalante, what did you think? Straight off the bat, what's your first thought?
Pathetic.
That's one word for it. That's a word for it.
Me,
JK,
I would say,
yeah.
Remember I said we're going to play second, third gear, max, and it happened. We didn't have any phase of the game, really, where we were in control. We're going to get goals. I just felt like we're not going to score today. One of them ones, you know. But for me, like, you can go OTT with it and say, we're terrible and this and that. But for me, that game's there to win at Anfield, you know. Come on. They'll probably have their 2 centre-backs back by then. But I'm not going to go over the top and start saying this, that, and the other, you know. 2 games we haven't won yet, you know. That's a weird one.
Yeah, we didn't need the Kwanzaa thing, but it happened. It is a strange one. Like I'm one of those people that just gets kind of caught up in watching a match. I don't kind of look at it tactically, breaking it down or kind of thing. But to me, just watching it off the bat, it just seemed like, just a game we couldn't get a grip on. Again, like the one against you, a game we could get bits and pieces in, popping up here and there. Mo didn't really do much, but no real control on the game. Were we a bit flustered? Were we put out of whack? Because that was a real strong team we put out there, real strong.
It was strong enough to do some damage, you know. We had Gapco, Salah, and Jota up top, you know. Midfield, same as the United game. You know, Curtis again. Curtis, he was okay. He wasn't great, but I just felt like we didn't just control the game. Even Tottenham weren't really great. You know, I felt that Konate, when Solanke made that run through, I just felt like he opened the door to him. He said, like, there you go, bro, pop inside. Like, for me, I've played centre-back as well. I'm going the different. I'm not going where was Konate going? Was he going to the offline?
He got bullied.
Like, where was he going?
He was going the wrong direction, and he got sent there with easy. Very rarely he gets bullied, and he got bullied there. It was like, what are you doing, man? Where are you going for? Yeah, like you said, for one, what's over there that you need to be dealing with?
Yeah,
there's nothing over there you need. There's things over here you need to be dealing with. There's nothing over there. So he just made him run that way, and he, yeah. I mean, you can argue about it. Look, the guy to me shouldn't have been on the pitch. Technically, no, but look at the yellow card he got. It was a dive by Diaz, so that's what Spurs fans are going to say. So I'll say, yeah, look, 50-50 on that one. But we should have stopped it. You know, we're not allowed to stand off and go, well, you should have been sent off, so I'm not going to tackle you, I'm not going to do whatever.
Yeah.
He was on the pitch. We just deal with that.
Do you reckon he should have been on the pitch? Because realistically, he didn't touch Tsimikas. But for me, intent was there with the challenge.
But it was a dive. Diaz dived, so that should never have been a yellow in the first place. Diaz was fouled by Porro. Porro fouled Diaz, and Diaz stayed on his feet, and then Bergvall
Yeah,
comes sliding
yeah,
in
yeah.
and
Hmm.
dives. You can see he tries to flick the leg out. So yeah, you're probably thinking whatever, but the fact is he was on a yellow card. So you could even see it. I thought it was a bit unsporting from Virgil to be over there at the end beside the kid who was only a young kid, kind of
Yeah.
out in front of the refs. It's like, look, man, it happened. You're not. What's he going to do? Send him off now?
You know what I mean? You ain't gonna change nothing.
Yeah. Sometimes just look.
It is what it is. It's like at
Yeah,
Tottenham,
1-0
we
at
always get
Anfield,
given.
man. 1-0 at Anfield. I'll take that. Look, I'm not
Like,
saying I'll
look,
take
yeah.
it. I'm not saying I
In the
wanted it,
old
but we'll
days,
do them. I'll
we're
give them a
taking
1-0
that.
lead at Anfield. I'll
Do
give
you
them a
remember
1-0
the
lead
old
at
days,
Anfield.
though, Brian? When we had a two-legged affair, we'd always say, "Oh, we'll take a 1-0 if it is what it is.
Mm.
We'll take them in the second leg at Anfield." You know, that's like a normal sort of saying we've had. Like if it happens, but form-wise and the way Tottenham been playing, we're thinking we're going to get a win there. You know, I always say, you know, sometimes going OTT with the overconfidence. Yeah, we're a great team. Don't get me wrong, but I think these last two games might have woke Arnie up a little bit. Arnie was pissed off today on the sidelines because for me, the one where Porro went down when Diaz was sort of going to header a ball, and what it was, Porro actually headed the ball, and he should have gone for a corner, but we didn't get the corner. And what happened was
Yeah,
Porro's
then,
acting
yeah.
like Diaz is headbutting him from the back after he's headed the ball. So what's happened there is Diaz didn't even touch the ball. He hasn't even touched Porro, but Porro's fell down, acted like Diaz is headbutting him in the back, and it's hit Diaz and it's come off Diaz. And then what happens a little bit later? Porro actually pushes Diaz a little bit, a bit of a two-handed sort of push on him. Diaz falls down, and Porro acts like what you doing? You know, the cheek of the guy. You know, that's just mad. That's football. That was that game there, right there. Them incidents. That's what happened.
Yeah, that keeper, like Crab is saying, that keeper's only been in the country about 48 hours.
Yeah.
You know,
Diaz,
look,
like Darwin, at least was sort of getting. Darwin had two chances to score, and the goalie saved it twice. I think the second one, the flick on the corner, it's like a little. He did like a little flick or something, and he like that was going in. Goalie saved it. Couldn't believe it. But at least he
yeah,
looked busy. He looked busy, you know. I just felt like we didn't control the game enough.
nothing clicked, nothing came off, and just Rasta. I know. Look, it's not my channel. It's not my. So not going to drive my own agendas, Rasta. But for me, I never blame refs. Never ever blame refs. For me, losers blame refs. That's my thing. I've always said it. Look, things will go for you, they'll go against you. I never go down that route because if you do, you're just sitting here all day blaming the ref. So I know a lot of people seem to be pretty unhappy about it. For me, yeah, I just don't do that. I never blame the ref. I know sometimes they are at fault, but I never blame them. It's a 90-minute game. You know, if you can't get the job done over 90 minutes, yeah, decisions go, decisions don't. But yeah, that's just my stance. The boys know, like, I know everybody else. That doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just saying that's just the stance that I take. I don't blame refs. Burn if you start ruining.
Like,
I should stop ruining. Okay, yeah, thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe. That's great to hear, mate. That's lovely to hear. Lovely to hear. Thanks, Joe. You'll be back. You'll be invited back. Most certainly you will.
I agree with Rasta Crab in about Curtis shouldn't start again. Like for me, Curtis had two games there to shine, and he didn't. You know, come on, man. So Boxley's not. He's not well. You got chances here to cement that third spot because, like for me, McAllister and Gravenberch got the other two, and Curtis hasn't
Yeah.
really stepped up in these two games, and I'm really disappointed in him actually.
Bits and pieces
Uh,
all the time. It's just bits and pieces all the time, man. Never anything for 90 minutes in a row or
yeah,
three
like
games in a row,
yeah.
4 games in a row. It's just bits and pieces all the time, man.
I heard someone actually say that where Curtis is a guy who'll play top for two games, and then the third he's like really average. That
Sorry,
seems to
what
be
two
true.
games? What two games were they? I can't remember those two games. Come on.
No, Curtis played well a few
Yeah.
games back. He played like 2 games after each other, and he played really good. And then what happened since then? He ain't been great again. And that seems to be Curtis's. It's all about being consistent with him. You know, you're going to get game time. You get game time under Klopp. Look how many times did he play for Klopp? Enough times. He weren't brilliant every game though. You know.
Yeah. What were you saying? No, Lante, what were you saying? Oh, no, Lante, you're on mute. Like I said, I'd give them a 1-0 handicap
Yeah.
at home and take it.
Yeah.
If you said to me, Tottenham 1-0 at home, 90 minutes, I'd still back us to win it.
Yeah, but considering they had Son starting, Solanke, Kubileski, and then Johnson came on. Johnson's a bit of a dirty little rat as well. The way he was like sort of getting about, and then he falls over as well. Cheeky man. You got to watch these little tactics these guys play, man. But for me, I'm taking the 1-0. It is what it is. Should have been 0-0 realistically because we were talking about it, but it should have been a 0-0. Like we don't have to score, and we'll just score whenever then at Anfield. Now we have to start as soon as the whistle blows. Go and get that goal.
Cool. Yeah. Nalante, you were saying? Or you had some, yeah, but to me there was a few obvious changes in there that I didn't see coming. Or sorry, not obvious changes in there that I didn't see happen. I didn't see Ali starting. I didn't see Endo not starting. I thought we put out a team there. It was like, wow, we gone super strong here. Look at the team they have. Lots of players missing. They still had a decent front six, yeah.
Yeah.
No Madison or no kind of, and then the dude goes off. Bentancur, but we lose Kwanzaa. Maybe that kind of broke the game up a bit,
Yeah.
early
That
doors. But
long
there was,
stoppage first half.
yeah,
That was mad.
there was never much flow or rhythm to it from our point of view, anyway. Which were we being a bit kind of arrogant, assuming we'd be able to go there and just put a stranglehold on it?
I just reckon we just doing that second, third gear motion where we just be a little bit cautious. We get a goal, we get a goal. That's how we were playing today. It wasn't like, come on, lads, we've got to get 3 points against these guys. The urgency to get 3 points. We were thinking it's a 2-leg game. Let's not go OTT with it. That's what my opinion is. And it was like that. I had a little feeding before the game. Second, third gear. And we did that. It's only in the end we sort of put our foot down a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the subs were pretty proactive, right? I mean, he wasn't messing around with that. I'm not sure what the idea would have been, but he comes straight out like that was a pretty strong group of players to bring on. He's bringing on Diaz, Nunes, Trent.
We look better with them 3 guys when they came on. We look better. We just put a little bit more into it. Trent was more with it, passing wise and stuff. But that's what I mean about Trent. He's got it in him to be like game winner. You know what I mean, though? That's what annoys me about it. The whole Trent thing. He's got it in him to be a game winner, and he can do so much more if he really wanted to. We're not even seeing the best of Trent. We did earlier on, but how good that guy can be and could be, he don't really realise sometimes. I think, like when you see him play, I'm thinking, why you've got the know-how to get a ball and run with it. Why don't you just go through the middle and just whack it, get it in? Like just do it. Like Gerrard used to think, get the ball, grip it, just run through the middle. It's like whack, have that. Why can't Trent just do that sometimes? Yeah, but when he came on, we looked better on the right-hand side. Trent, Salah was getting the ball more. Salah came into the game a bit more as well, him and Darwin. But for me, Darwin had 2 chances to score. Goalie saved both. You know what I mean? Mad.
Fancy little flick there at the end, wasn't it? Kind of
That
a
was
mad
nice.
little half volley one.
Yeah,
And
like
then
a
he had the
striker.
one where he comes in down the right, wasn't it? He was on the other side. He comes in, has a shot, guy blocks it.
Guy blocked it. Nice little run there, and that's what he needs to do. Just do that. Beat the line, bang. You know, the movement beautiful. I'm not going to highlight it. I'm going to go over the top because it's Darwin. I like Darwin, but for me, that's the way you play as a striker. What he did today showed a little bit more urgency than what he showed against United, for instance. You know, I'm playing him against Accrington Stanley. Score 4 goals, do something. You know.
Who, Darwin? Yeah.
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 I'm playing him on Sunday. Saturday. Yeah.
It is Saturday afternoon, right?
Yeah, 12:15, I think.
Oh
Weird time.
no.
Early cook-off, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. R.I.P. or unlucky to the West Coast. You know, that's what's that, like a 3 a.m. kickoff or something like that. If you live on the
Yeah.
West Coast of America, that is not good.
That's not the same day sort of thing. We're living in
Yeah, it's
different
literally
worlds.
yesterday. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
watching it and they're watching it yesterday.
Yeah.
And that ain't exactly the one you're going to have to. You're going to have to be a bit of a hardcore fan to. That's a stay up kind of thing. That's not a get up. That's a stay up.
Yeah. That's a stay. Brian, you knocked the nail
Yeah,
on the head there. It's a
yeah,
stay up,
yeah,
not a get up.
yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not getting up or something at 3 a.m. I'm just staying up, pretty much. So, yeah. He'll have. You're assuming, but were ye surprised? And people in the chat as well. Yeah, the people in the chat who aren't being whatever. Give us your thoughts. Give us your. Did you think we made the right decisions? Was there anything you would have done different? You know, again with the benefit of hindsight. But when you look again, the one thing that stood out to me was when you looked at the game. You looked at the first team, and you was like, okay, well, look, we've gone pretty strong there. But then you also look at the bench, and it's like there's no Trainioni, there's no Morton. I know he was injured, but there's no Dans. You know, there's no U players. It was pretty much all first team
Yeah.
guys, all across the bench. You know, so was anybody expecting a little bit more? I hope we
Yeah.
weren't
Action.
because
Yeah. Considering the team we had out, that was like Gapco, Jota, and Salah up top. You trying to tell me them three couldn't get goals first half? Jota tried. Gapco sort of tried as well, but it wasn't enough for me. Yeah, it wasn't just enough. I felt Curtis. I just felt the midfield wasn't really taking over as such. I just felt like defensively sound 0-0. You know what I mean? But midfield wise, we wasn't really like you see when Diaz came on, how he sort of got the ball, ran at the wing fullbacks, trying to do something. That's what we lacked in the game, and Diaz did that when he came on. Trent as well, you know. Then Salah started doing it. That's what we missed today. First half, just a little bit too flat.
Yeah. Right, we'll get back on this. We'll get back on track. Healer said, I'm not sure if my English is good enough, but I would describe Simicast as overcooking seemingly simple passes, if you get my drift. I thought he looked real angry. He looked real angry in that game a few times. You could see him, he was getting angry at a throw in where people weren't moving. He wasn't enjoying that game. He wasn't really. Yeah, things weren't really going his way.
He's getting fouled.
But yeah, I don't really think it was his anybody's best game at the back. They made us look like people are saying that it's the second string guys out there. You know, we went out strong against a team that should have been breakable, but once again, Archie Gray looks good. Players they have out there, we're making them look good in points, but I really don't know what's happened to this team at the moment because we've lost that flow and we've lost that rhythm. We've lost that. Like Mo was anonymous today, right?
He should have
Bar the
come
last
off.
10,
He
bar the
should
last
have.
10, 15
He should have
minutes.
come
Yeah.
off. I would have taken him off. He's the one who should have come off. But again, because he's Mo, so he should have come off him. Honestly, he didn't do anything. You know what's the point, Slot? What's the point of having Chiesa? He's been fit for the last 3 weeks, and you don't put him on. Then what's the point? What is the point? I just don't get
No,
it.
you got to chuck Chiesa on, innit? You're like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Give the guy 10, 15
Yeah,
minutes, bro.
listen, man. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Ah,
so I've been, we've been praising Salt, but we've got to give criticism where criticism's due, man. The last 2 games, some of his substitutions in certain plays, him, and then, as you said, J.K. Harvey Elliott put them on. Like the first two, fair enough, no problem. Put them on the right time, need to change. But Harvey, Kaiser, Mose, having a bad game. Don't like. I don't want to do this superstar. If they're having a bad game, they're having a bad game. Take them
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Kaiser's fit. So what's going on? No, and then you're gonna Accrington, and who knows? I mean, it's weird, but it's not good. I mean, we've got the second leg, but it's like every time we get to the League Cup semi-final, we'll make hard work of it. I don't understand. Obviously, if we win the second leg, then we'll forget about this game. Fine, but just very, very disappointing. Now, none our luck will make us struggle of being Accrington Stanley, and then at this rate, can we even beat Forest? I'm worried about that game now.
Lord have
I
mercy.
am very worried because we
I'm
dropped
not.
points.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
Yeah,
I just feel sometimes football it has its ups and downs.
it does.
I'm not gonna go over the top with it. I just feel like Slot might have got it wrong in the last 2 games. Um, but like for me today, Curtis, I think a midfield of McAllister, Gravenberch holding with Elliot in front of him could have worked. If it didn't work, bring on Curtis. Cool. Give Elliot his game time, things like that. For me, like Simicast starting for Robertson, sound. I'll take that. Conor Bradley starting sound as well.
Yeah, for you've done
Um,
well.
yeah, but for me, Curtis, I would have started Harvey Elliott. Like, come on,
Yeah,
lad, there you go. That's your chance there to show him what you can do.
yeah,
I feel like Slot sometimes might overcomplicate it sometimes. Like Darwin came on today, Diaz and Trent, all three subs played pretty well when they came on. We just look better, so that's cool. But for me, Harvey Elliott should have started that game instead of Curtis. I think Curtis again wasted his another game to show us guys he means business.
yeah.
I think a lot of fans wanted Harvey Elliott to play as well. Yeah, a bit disappointed in that.
Yeah, he's kept. I think Curtis till the second half again. He's going back to his old ways of. He does a good turn and he's just slowing with the ball
Yeah,
movement, which kind of
yeah,
got me irritated. But it wasn't just because look, with the defense, I don't think they did that. I think they were okay. Like Bradley for me had a solid game. It's just the only thing with Bradley, if he can have a bit of what Trent had in terms of ability, mate, honestly, but he was good. Simicast, I thought wasn't bad, but he's
I think
okay.
he was okay. I think he
I
was
think it's
okay.
okay, solid. VVD,
Yeah.
we don't need to mention. Obviously, Kwanzaa. I know a lot of people in the chat saying Kwanzaa was shaky. Yeah, first 5-10 minutes, I think the Bentancur injury disrupted the game. I thought he wasn't too bad without being anything great, and obviously he picked up the injuries. It's hard. I'm not gonna sit and say he was awful. Kwanzaa. He started a bit, the whole team did, and he was okay. But and then though, Endo came in and did well. He was solid enough in centre back
Yeah.
defence, and
I would have kept him there. I would have
yeah,
kept him there. I wouldn't even made that sub. Kanate comes on, gets skinned by
yeah, and then can
Solanke,
I?
and we lose
Yeah,
the game.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, hey.
That's the
Sometimes
thing.
if it's not broke, leave
Yeah,
it alone. Just like
yeah,
leave it alone. I would have just kept
yeah.
that Endo. He played a majority of the game. Kwanzaa came off pretty early. And Endo played a majority of that game at that position. I would have just left it as it was.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. JK, right? It's very, this Tottenham team is a bit, like I said, we're lucky we've got a second leg to rectify it because it was a bit embarrassing. I'm sure Brian in a minute will do his Alonso watch on the next Xabi Alonso. I'll leave that to Brian to commentate on that. And obviously he got his goal, but he wasn't. I mean, I'll let Brian elaborate on these next Xabi Alonso watch. He wasn't. He was average. He weren't that great, even though he scored. Tottenham weren't that great, but they got the
They
goals. And
weren't.
And yeah, Trent, yeah, it was better when he came on the attacking sense, but defensively, again, he was all right. He just again, he nearly put Solanke on. I mean, in another day that would have been onside.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah,
But he's
so
trying to come back off, like trying to get him offside. We were lucky there. I was
yeah,
thinking that 0-0's coming in, I was just like, let's go
yeah.
offside.
I'm
I was like,
just
bloody hell.
Yeah, it's just we like you said, JK, you summed it. We didn't the third game. We didn't. If we stepped it up, then we would have beat it. But Diaz and Nunes, they huffed and puffed. They gave us a little bit more. In fact, but Jota was poor. I don't know what happened to Jota, man. He was on the edges of the game. Nunes was in there. He should have scored, and it's just Nunes all over the ball from Salah. Obviously. He should have scored straight to the goalkeeper, and then the second chance was a good, reaction and good save. But it's weird. It's a frustrating game. We just weren't with it. Even Grav and Mac, they did. I guess they did okay. They weren't poor, but
Mm.
yeah, it's just something missing. So Slot's got I mean, majority of these players. I mean, Bradley. I'm sure Bradley Simicas will start against Accrington Stanley. He just needs to give them a break and just re-energize the players, whatever. Because Forest is well, mate. It's it's
Well,
it's,
it
it's a
looks
big
like
one.
Ryan Slot is going to be playing centre back with Endo. That's how we're down to sort of bare minimum now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Kwanzaa, God knows what happened to him. Do you know anything? Have you heard anything? Because like Kwanzaa
Um,
went,
the
he
only
tried to
thing
get.
I'm hearing is again, it's not confirmed really. So his muscle is not that serious, but again, it's not confirmed yet. So we'll just see when Arnie Slot mentions it. But I'm just looking at
Mhm.
little bits here and there about Kwanzaa. But yeah, that's a scary issue because obviously Kanai still obviously is not well
Tonight is
100%.
all over the place today, man. Oh yeah.
Well, mate, I tell
Oh,
you, tell K Mac and the Kanati GA status about Kanati. But listen, I'm only saying that because I'm just tired of him gets away, with North Cruising. Like he's working his way back. But listen,
Uh, for me,
it's a,
tonight is either excellent or pretty poor.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Where
yeah. But
Virgil is consistently good. He's just like, even if you get like beat or whatever, if you have a tough game, Virgil, he'll get his 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. You know what I mean? Very rarely will he get like less than that. Like against United, bro, if we didn't have Virgil at the back, even tonight,
yeah,
if Virgil weren't playing, we might
Yeah.
have got done pretty bad. You
yeah,
don't know that. So
yeah,
Virgil for me is such a top player. Like what a player.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
he's
ain't getting
contracted.
that sort of. You ain't getting that type of centre back again.
No, 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 no.
No, it'll take a while. It'll take a long
Yeah.
time, dude. You'll get
And for
one who
me,
can do everything he can do,
hmm
kind of certain things, but he won't have that, that aura or that presence. Or you'll get someone who might have that bit of that aura, that presence, but wouldn't be able to do everything VBD can do. It's going to take a while before you get someone, that'll come along like that again, without a doubt.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We just have to adapt a certain way. Whoever the defender is, I mean, it's going to be Konate and Kwanzaa, or whoever the centre back we buy to eventually pace VVD, or because Kwanzaa is just off of it. And I mean, I would do Joey, but Joey is just going to be that if he's staying that
Mm.
squad player. So
mm
it all depends really. But more concerned, we have to come out of this slump because against United, it's weird. We were on the periphery, we had moments, but we still there attacking wise. But today
yeah, hmm
we were just poor.
yeah.
We just average. It was
We,
just like
we
Can I
weren't poor,
can I
but
bring
we
up
weren't great. If you know what I
Healer is
mean.
saying there, Jacob. Healer is saying this, right? The rhythm, the flow, the whatever, it wasn't in this match, as it wasn't in the Man United match either. Is this becoming something to worry about? I don't think it's about Dom either, but maybe that's a part. I think, and I don't know if you guys agree with this. Aaron Slot is not the Messiah. He has a way of doing things, and as he let it be known against Man United, there's a certain way of doing things that he doesn't like dealing with, and it upsets him a little bit. So it's like a winger. It's like when Diaz comes in. If you're a fullback and you play up against a winger, you've never played up against him before. And then after 90 minutes, like, oh, okay, I know, like, he did me a few times, but he won't do me again because I know that little thing he does. I didn't know what he did before. It's like, now I know he likes to do this. Once you played against him 2 or 3 times, it's like, yeah, I know his game. I know what he likes to do. You can't always stop it. Of course you can. But now you've got 1 or 2 managers is like, okay, I played Slot before. Now I know what they're doing. You know, a lot of times it's like Slot is coming in and managers who've never played him before don't quite know what he's going to do. Yeah, you can watch the videos. You know, you can do your research, but sometimes now when you play like Slot, Arnie has just played him. You know, so I think a lot of this time is like Slot is also like that new player, that new winger that a fullback has never played against before. Give him a couple of games against him, it's like, okay, yeah, he did me the first game completely. He might do me again, but he's not going to do me those obvious things because I know what he's up to. I know his game now. I know what he likes to do. I know what he doesn't like to do. And more important than not, I know what gets under his skin. I know what doesn't like. I know how to wind him up. So I think a lot of this it has to come into that as well. He's once a manager has played against him 3, 4 times, yeah, they're going to know a little bit more about him. You know, they're going to know a little bit more. So I think that needs to be taken into account. But it's a good question by Hyler because it was very similar to the Man United game in the way that it was real bitty. It was like we looked like we were good for a minute and then we were bad for 5 minutes, and we were good for a minute and then bad for a minute, and we just couldn't put it together.
Yeah,
What
but
do you think? Am I
yeah,
talking shite on that? That they like, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Like you could look at these last 2 games and cry about it, or you could just say it like this: we played Man United, our number one enemies, at Anfield, and them games can go either way or whatever. But they haven't been great for United in the last few years. So, but we could have lost that game against United, but we got a point.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're taking that. This is a game today. It wasn't a league game where 3 points are up there to get. It was a two-legged first away game in that 2 legs, you know. So for me, it's a 1-0. So for me, we can go to Anfield in the second leg and win that game, no problem. So that's how I'm looking at the last 2 games. Or you can go over the top and say, Slot ain't got no idea what he's doing. People have just worked him out. Or, you know, like some people are going to
What?
say now. That's going to piss me off.
Yeah, no, no,
Because
no, no. But I wouldn't go. I'm not suggesting that. But of course, there has to be like
yeah,
something
that's
to be
football, bro.
gained
That's what
from
people do.
familiarity. But
Yeah,
from
yeah,
familiarity, you know, if I've never played you, Jake, if I'm playing you in a game of one-on-one in anything, right, whatever it might be, I've never met you before, never played you before. After a couple of months, I play you 10 times. I can know a little bit more about your game. You
yeah.
know, it's only human nature that like some of these guys, okay, you know, they will know more about him, but it's not like, oh, he's backed into a corner now and he can't change what he's doing. He's shown before, especially within games and a half time, that he can
Of course.
change things. But
Yeah.
I think Kyler. I'm not saying that it's a problem as such, but I think it is correct that, and to me, it is a tiny wee bit worrying
Mm.
that in the last couple of games we have been massively disrupted in how we want to play. We haven't looked at our fluid best.
But that's
Delante,
gonna
do you have?
happen.
Oh, sorry, go
It's
ahead,
like
take it. Yeah.
it's like the weather. You have a lot of sun, then all of a sudden winter comes and it's a bit nippy and stuff, so you feel a little bit ooh. And that's what like football's a bit like that sometimes. And I think now we're in winter phase. Our football's got a bit cold as well, you know. It's getting lighter every day. So for me, we've got a game against Forest next Tuesday, and then we've got Accrington Stanley on Saturday. That means until then, people like Salah, Virgil, all these type of guys who've been playing every game can have the weekend off. So it's like a blessing in disguise having that fixture now. And just get ready for that Forest game. You know, United had a week to prepare for that Liverpool game, as you could tell, that they've really just spent a week just watching videos of all the Liverpool matches together. Oh, look, guys, they play like this. Let's do this and let's do that. And that's what a lot of managers are going to be doing, watching Liverpool matches in their spare time, trying to work us out, you know. Um, so sometimes you've got to like surprise the opposition by doing something totally different. I think when Trent came on, that was the time to just hit it long. You know, football has you got to play a bit like dirty sometimes in football. You know, not fancy in between 1-2s and this that. Darwin had the pace, and Salah and even Diaz hit the ball long, Trent. Let them run onto it. They'll make a mistake, goal, bang. And that's what we should have done for the last 20 minutes at least. Get the ball, whack it long. You know, you got to play like that sometimes. United did it to us at the weekend, you know, and it worked. Football's a simple game sometimes. You got to go old school sometimes with the way you play. It might not look great, but for me, when you get a ball from a defender and he just switches it one time to the attacker and he scores, that's sometimes better than a guy like doing about 10 1-2s with everyone and scoring, you know?
But you see, Hyler is saying, but I study the stats. I'm seeing the pattern. I'm like, yeah, but dude, this is what I mean. I was hoping kind of they would bear it out because you don't even need to know the stats. Watch the Forest game. Watch the United game.
Mm-hmm.
Watch parts and points in this game. To use one of 12 man's phrases, 12 parts and points. Why were we losing? Because they were getting physical.
Yeah, the midfield lost it
We're
again.
losing physical battles. Yeah, we're losing physical battles. That's why we are not looking good in these games because that's what United did to us. That's what Forest did to us. There's a kind of an unspoken rule amongst a lot of these managers these days. It's like we're going to play our game. You're going to play yours. Now one of these guys, Nuno did it. Amorim did it. Just walked into the room and goes, nah, we're not going to do that today. We're just going to go old school 90s football. See how I deal with that. It's like, no, but I thought we were going to do tactics, right? You're going to do fancy 40. No, we're just going 90s. See how I deal with it. Because if you can't win a physical battle, you've no place on a football pitch, right? Because you ain't going to win a physical battle, either be out running, out working, being stronger than some guy. It doesn't matter how good you are on the ball. You're just not going to be on the ball because you're going to lose physical battles all the time. And that's what they did to us. I think that's what people are doing now is like, okay, well, we can't do this to us. They're trying to be physical. I'm not in a kicking us all over the pitch, Vinnie Jones. No, when football is still a contact sport. If I'm stronger than you and we go shoulder to shoulder, and I win by shoving you off the ball shoulder to shoulder, not by kicking you, fouling you. If I'm stronger than you, that's football. It's a contact sport. So they try to go toe to toe with us, be more physical. Bradley, young player. Kwanzaa, young player. Simicast, not the biggest or the strongest. Gravenberch, Mac loves a challenge. Mac will do that all day long. He'll eat it up all day long, man. McAllister will do that. Ibu will if he's on the pitch, but he got out muscled by the big guy, Solanke. So put the big guy on him. Solanke out muscles him. Lost the physical battle. So that's where we're being targeted now. It's clear that that's where we're being targeted now. Is in one-on-one duels, physicality. Trent isn't going to win physical duels more often than not. It seems to be route one. It seems to be not route one, but kind of this might be their kryptonite. So let's try and have a go with it. I don't know what you boys think about that. Fozzie, great to see you, man.
Bless Fozzie. Nice to see you.
Yeah, again, just in case anybody is wondering, you haven't watched the wrong channel. It is 12 Man's channel, but it's just us boys here tonight. We're holding it down. So it's still great to see so many people in the building and appreciate what we're doing and being nice about it. Yeah, so it's not that difficult. But here we are. Yeah, what a disappointing game, right? Overall. What a massively, massively disappointing game.
Disappointing until they scored. It was all right until they scored. I thought, you know what? 0-0 sound. Until and when they scored, it was disappointing then. And also with the guy who sort of scored the goal, maybe he shouldn't have been on the pitch. And that's what sort of wound me up. And also sort of play acting by them guys. But it's a 1-0 half time, That's how they always say in the two-leg affair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's 1-0 at half time, pretty much with 90 minutes left.
We'll take that. Like, it is what it is, man. I'm not gonna cry. And but I just reckon the players at this moment not as fluid as they could be. I think we look more fluid when Trent, Darwin, and Diaz came on. Definitely, we look better. But we need to do that from the start, And I don't think we do that enough. So yeah.
Don't give me stupid now.
I'll see what you see, JK, but I'll probably disagree with you that even if it's still nil, I would have been disappointed, to be
Yeah, of
honest.
course. Yeah,
I would
yeah.
have been disappointed. I mean, yeah, I guess it's a draw and it doesn't think, but I still would have been disappointed. I mean, again, I expected us. Look, they've got all, the whole back four pro out. You know what I mean? There's no Saw, and yeah, they've got the attackers, but it'd be the same. And we were just, I don't know, man. We just made it a game where it shouldn't have been a game, and we just got the second leg to redo it. And it seems that in our history, in terms of League Cup semi-finals, we always do things the hard way. Gets on my nerves, man. But you know, obviously, we won't be complaining if we go through. We'll forget about this average performance. So it's really down to the players, and look, you know, he just has to get his money's worth and just kind of just realize that the other players that should be getting a chance, aka Chiesa and Harvey.
Oh, yeah,
And like I said,
yeah.
for me, Salah should have came off. If I'm honest, go on, Chiesa, just give you something different, some energy, something proper. You know, Chiesa is an old school winger. He's in and out, and I just thought Salah was on. You know, he's lucky to stay in the pitch, but you know, it is what it is. But you know, the players, you know, they have to take a look and fix up, man, because we're coming to a crucial stage. I remember
Yeah,
last,
exactly.
and I really, you know, although if we were third or whatever right now, I'll be, you know, I'll be content because I thought, like I said, I didn't think there'd be no title challenge, but the way we are now, this could be a deja vu of last season when we were up there till springtime, and then we all let all the games we just let ourselves go, and hopefully we don't do a result of that. So let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see.
Like it is just a League Cup as well, right? Like it's not like we drop points in the league. You know, I'm not saying like we're doing the bin it off. It's just like if we're going to have an unlucky one or it's not look, we're not winning the quad, okay? We're not going to win everything. So it's going to happen at some point where you get knocked out with something. If this is the one where it's like, uh, okay, this one doesn't quite go our way. Hey, look, I'll take it as long as this doesn't become a thing in the league. It's like, okay, look, we can take some, you can take two bad games in a row or whatever, but this we need to fix up, as they say, in the league, right? This needs to be a kind of a wake up call where,
Yeah,
because this is a Premier League team we played basically in a Premier League game with VAR, big crowds, the whole lot. There's going to be another one to come. It's like, okay, we're not invincible. Again, we're not this. Not that we should have been, but we don't lost one. Not obviously we're not. We'd already lost this season, but like we hadn't lost in a long time. Normal football isn't like this. We're getting disappointed by the fact that we've lost the game. It was always going to happen. But it's just like, what way do you do it today? It was like,
yeah.
yeah,
I'd
we didn't
rather
get
lose
played off the
today.
park.
I'd rather lose today than say lose on Saturday, for example.
Oh man,
Because
it's league
why?
all season. League for me. That's it. Just
Yeah,
win
yeah.
in the
Like
league, and
the
I'll take
league
the rest of it
is.
afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to lose in the league. But for me, if you got so far to a semi-final,
Yeah,
win
you
three
go
games, you got
for
a cup. You know.
yeah, of course. You
So for
go
me,
for
that's why I'm not so. It's a 1-0. I'm gonna be. I'm not happy with that. I'm actually a bit disappointed considering the team we had out. But I'm not gonna say. I just think we're going through a little phase, and it's not really costing us. Costing us. Why? We got a point out against United, and then we're 1-0 down in a two-leg game where the next game's at Anfield, and that's it happening in a phase where we're not great. So it's not really costing us. Costing us. If you know what I mean. We could have lost to United and we could have got battered 4-0 today. Imagine that. Imagine we lost to United on Sunday. Got nothing, not even a point. And then today we got battered 4-5-0. And we've got a second leg coming up. There you go. So I'll leave it like, I look at it in that way. Very disappointed in how we played in the last two games, but it could have been much, much worse.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. It could have been much, much worse, but this is the one that I don't mind. You know, the one where someone's got me on in the background. Where we can, because we get to take this back to Anfield and give them a 1-0 and try and beat them from there. You know, this is okay. We can redeem this one. You know, we don't need a performance like this against Forest. Is the one that worries me. You know, it's not like, oh, we had a bad game early in the season. Those guys were good. It's like, no, look what they've continued to do this. They're not going to all of a sudden start being bad because we go there. It's like, oh, we should beat them. It's like, no, they've been pretty much almost as relentless as we have been this season, and they're the only team to have beaten us this season before these boys tonight. So why are we thinking, oh, it's revenge time? I'm like, these guys have they were the first ones to figure out how to get under our skin and beat us. You know, so
That's the first game we've lost in how long?
Since then, basically, since Boris, yeah.
Yep. So it's been a good little run, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to be celebrating today. Let them have it. Would you rather be us or them? You know, they're probably scared. They know that 1-0 is not going to be enough against Liverpool at Anfield. They know that, but they'll hide it with their celebrations today. Tottenham fans thinking, oh, they've just like smashed us 3-4-0.
Yeah, they'll go for
1-0. Yeah,
they'll be coming to Anfield. They'll go for it, man. They might even do it. They might even do it, man. They might even do it. We done madder shit than they did, right? We won, you know, games when we're bigger underdogs than they are right now. So it can happen. You know, do we want it to happen? No, but as long as right now this season for me, it's sort of focus, 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 and as long as we win this league title, then everything that comes after that will be incredible. But that has to be the only thing on the agenda, really. You know, there's an opportunity right there that we might not get again for another 2 years. So, you know, if we can win this, yes. But I'm not saying in terms of, I don't mean bin this off. I don't mean drop players. I mean, I don't want us to say, oh, play the kids. I'm just saying at the end of the season, if I woke up from a coma and I said, what did we win? We won the league. I'm like, cool. I don't need to know anymore. If we won other shit, brilliant. But if you told me we won the league, I'd been out for 8 weeks. I didn't know what was happening. I'm fine with that. That would do it for me, especially this season.
Yeah.
So and you said, oh, but don't get, you know, you go turn around, oh yeah, Ryan, there's extra news. Like, what? We also won 2 other cups. Like, awesome. You know, but do that league. Just please just win that fucking league title this year.
Yeah.
Because this is what we're all about this year. Just please win that league title.
The league title is upmost.
Yeah. City aren't going to drop off like this every year unless they get relegated. You know, we have a huge chance here, and it's all we care. Like, well, look, we're built on winning league titles, you know. That's us. That is, you know, that's it, man. It's like people argue about what's most important. It's like being the most, you know, it's having the most league titles. I always don't understand why it's a question, you know. What's the most important thing? It's having the most league titles. That's yeah. Kevin is saying we're doing Kelleher wrong. I was really surprised, Kev, that Kelleher didn't start tonight. I was really
surprised. Yeah, man. I've just
disappointed.
Yeah, it's not because he's a local Irishman. Pun your name, Irish, right? But yeah, man, Kelleher deserves better, man. You see, with Slot with certain players, I don't like the way he's treating them. If I'm honest, and Ali,
that's what I was saying.
And Ali, although he didn't do much, but he still, you know, he nearly cost us a goal. Just Ali, yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I'm just, yeah. So there's certain things I'm trying to watch, and I just think Slot should be doing better and appreciating certain players.
Yeah. Use a bit of common sense in that way of thinking. Okay, Ali's come back 3-4 games now. Let him have a little rest today and Saturday. Bring him back for the Forest game, Ali. You know what I mean? And let Kelleher play these 2 games. That would
Yeah,
have been the best way to keep Kelleher sharp game-wise.
yeah,
Just in case Ali ain't right again, whatever. But for me, that was a no-brainer though. Like you got the Simicast one right, you got the Bradley one right.
yeah,
Kwanzaa also, but he came off.
yeah,
Maybe Gravenberch shouldn't have started. I would have just left him on the bench. I don't think we needed Gravenberch because, like, realistically, Endo could have done that. Endo
yeah,
McAllister and say, yeah, Curtis. But for me, Curtis another one who let us sort of let it down, you know.
yeah. Yeah, I think with Curtis, I think from now on, since Elliot is back, we need him to
Have
yeah,
games. Get
yeah,
some games into his blood, you know.
yeah. I want Curtis, if he's starting, let him play alongside a Grav or Endo like previously. Oh yeah, yeah. It's-
I
Yes.
can't wait for the he wouldn't even get into the Accrington Stanley 11 type comments when we played him if
Yeah.
someone has a bad game.
Were you like
Yeah,
sort of surprised that Endo came on instead of Kanate? For Kwanzaa?
yeah,
A
I
little
was
bit.
proper shocked.
yeah,
I was like,
a
what
little
going
bit,
on here?
yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
definitely a little bit, yeah. I mean, there was some shouts from before where people were saying, "Oh, I think he should start." People were like, "Oh, would I want to play this guy in the mid?" And but people was like, "Yeah, cool, you could play him as a centre half." There was plenty of shout. There's been shouts before for like, "Hey, look, if you don't like him in the DM, okay, cool, but he can play centre half. Give him a game in there." You know, like I said, I had two players nailed on to start was Kelleher and Endo because they played in every minute of the
League
League
Cup.
Cup
Yeah.
so far. You know, I was really surprised that both didn't play. So for him to come on, put him in at centre half, nice vote of confidence against a very attacking team, a tricky team. You know, not a team playing kind of Route One football, a team playing with quick attackers, coming into the middle of a game, stone cold into a position like that, and he did really, really well. So some people have said, I've noticed it in the chat. You know, is that a new position like for him? Is that a certain place we could use him? But look, we've gone and lost two now. You know, if this is, I heard people saying it's not that it's not that bad for Kwanzaa, but well, look, we'll see, right? Let's wait and see. You know, Gomez might be. Now we've only got two, and Ibu is only coming back. You know, it's all of a sudden we're short. You could be looking at Endo and Nalo playing in the FA Cup as a centre half pair, and I'd be all for that. But then it's like, who do you play in DM then? So yeah, people have said before, lads, he's played a lot of times. You know, before for different teams as a centre half. So is that something we're overlooking that he might be a bit of a not a stopgap, but a potential centre half cover?
Yeah. I mean, he has to be. I mean, the choice. I mean, what I'll do is if you're going to, then Jones for now, he needs to just drop back. He needs to drop back alongside Grav or Mac. He needs to just focus in that position and let um, Elliot and Sobo, who are the tens, do their thing. But with Endo, yeah, I mean, at this rate, yeah, we
Yeah,
have,
Jones doesn't have that cutting edge, does he? He
yeah,
just doesn't have the cutting edge, really, does he? At the
yeah,
highest level.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, it's a difficult one, Bryce. It's just one of those ones, really. We just yeah. And fair play to Endo. Like I said, I mean, not the circumstances in that case, but he did his thing. He done all right. He done all right. Done all right. Centre back, and then when his position in the DM. So again, I just just hope slot. Once we get some of our centre backs back, whether it's a Kwanzaa, whether it's a Joey, I hope Slot utilizes him and uses him more, whether it's Grav or Mac has to be rested, and so be it.
Do either of you guys know, or people in the chat know, when is Gomez due back? Is there a date on Joey? Is there a even approximate on Joey when he's going to be back? Are we talking, weeks or month and a half still kind of thing? Does anybody know? Because the cupboard is getting pretty bare right now, isn't it? especially if you have something like Kwanzaa. That thing March. Oh no, please don't say March, KJ. Like that's a whole other. No, man. March. Jeez.
You better buy someone in January, March. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yes. JK.
Nah.
Yes.
I'm have to put my boots on. With Joey, I mean, can you say March? I haven't seen any confirmation, if I'm honest, any formal date of how long Joey's out for. So all I can say, we hope he's good as possible. I believe he's ruled out for the rest of January. I believe, but after that, I'm not sure. So,
Oh my god.
I'm gonna hold that with a pinch of salt from KJ.
Yeah, even then you're talking. That's a guy that's been out for a while. The Kwanzaa thing, we don't know. Like when they walk off like that, it's never good.
Yeah,
Like they were saying afterwards, oh, he just felt unwell. It's like, really? He
yeah,
always
that's
felt
just
unwell? That
it's
doesn't make
it's,
any
it's a
sense
str-
whatsoever.
yeah, it's a strange one. Yeah, because something. Well, I think it's more with his ankle. Something with his ankle or foot. That's what the
He was
issue is. But
limping when he went off. Like,
yeah,
not like
so
limping, but they're the worst ones when a guy sits down for 5 minutes.
yeah,
Everybody has to come on, and
yeah,
then he's able to walk off under his own strength. They're
yeah,
usually the worst ones because it's
yeah,
like, so obviously a guy goes off on a stretcher with a broken neck, yeah, whatever. But sometimes the one that looks the most innocuous, I was like, oh, but he walked off the pitch. It was like, yeah, but he's out for 2 months.
yeah,
They didn't need to put him on a stretcher. Sometimes you see that, like that to me just looked like one of those. He just sat down because he's out there doing something bad.
yeah.
The whole thing about him not feeling well, I was like, hang on, what you mean? You got the in the middle of the game? I don't think so. The old deli belly in the middle of the game? I don't think so.
Yeah,
What's all that about? So I didn't buy that one at all. So you could have a muscle injury there. That'd be him and Gomez out. Leaves you with the two main men. You got an FA Cup game that they don't want to be playing in, Ibu or VVD. So that gives you Endo and Nalo. Then you have no Endo in the midfield, which means you have to, it's getting stretched. It stretches pretty quickly there. You start seeing gaps all of a sudden. But what can you do, JK? Can you bring in someone like tomorrow? That's the thing. You say buy in January, but how quickly could we buy somebody that would be coming and go bang, plug and play?
That's the thing. That's the thing. And who's going to be available? That's the question.
yeah.
Matip, get his number out.
John Fatih.
And get Joel in.
Yeah,
Get Joel in to do a job. He'll do it for free, but
6 months to the end of the season.
yeah. Give it to Matip until the end of the season. Yeah. That's the thing with football,
give it
there's
to
certain
Matip, as I said.
positions, you need a lot of them. Like centre backs, there's 2 positions there to be filled. So you need a lot of centre backs. Right back is only one guy, so you can have 2, maybe 3 if you want. But centre back, you need at least 5. At least,
Yeah, but other than Kwanzaa, I know they're the hardest ones in the world to do. Kwanzaa is a bit of other than Kwanzaa, when is the last time Liverpool actually brought through a homegrown centre half that actually went on and did
Carragher.
stuff? And Carr wasn't even a centre half. He was left back.
He's a right back, wasn't he? Or left back.
Right. So we don't do it. We just don't do it. We bring through, when we do bring through, mainly strikers. That's kind of our thing,
Yeah.
That's usually what we do. We tend to go out and buy them, and so we shouldn't be afraid to do that and go out and just go. None of this like Lenny Yoro, 18-year-old, going to be the next Maldini in 6 years bullshit. No.
It's mad. He came into my mind when you said that, that
Yeah,
you just
give
said
me the
that. That's mad.
24-year-old, the 25-year-old, the guy that's going to be able to come in, take about 6 minutes to get accustomed to the place, and say, "Okay, cool. Yeah, I know what the story is. Yeah, I play football. Don't worry. Let's do this." I don't need an 18-year-old now to come in and go, "Oh, so I'm the guy that's going to fix these ones, fix these problems." That's not his deal. That's not what you want to be going out and buying a player like that for. So if we do buy in January, I think it would be a kind of a oh fuck, who doesn't play now kind of addition.
Yeah.
Is Ibu's face under threat now? Because guess what, Kwanzaa's just dropped down a rung. Like the same if we did something in the midfield, I'd be expecting like, oh well, Ibu and Jones would just drop down another rung. So that's kind of the additions. I know some people think nothing's going to happen. It's going to be net negative in January because people will leave. But right now, we can't talk, can we? I can't talk. We're going to do this because there's nobody out there, none of the Romanos, the Ornsteins saying Liverpool are talking to this player, talking to that player. There's nothing.
There's
It's
nothing.
a pretty barren horizon right now. It's pretty empty.
And considering where we're at right now, on the brink of being successful, on the horizon, you can see the sun.
There to be done.
It's there. And what
It's
we're
there to be
doing
done.
is there to be done. And we did it last year, so we know where these guys are at. We did it when we won the Champions League. We brought just basic sort of players who are not even at the club no more.
Yeah.
And we that's why, like, I'm really annoyed. If you want to be successful sometimes or keep up with the Joneses, as they say, you got to put your hand in your pocket, We haven't spent no money in transfers, bar the Chiesa deal, in a few windows now. So I can't really remember exactly. Like the summer just gone, the January last year, we didn't do nothing. This one so far has been like how many days is the 8th now? So we've had more than a week. Nothing's come through. We're on the brink of something special right now, and I think sometimes, like Edwards and the other guy, we don't know what they're doing, what they're saying. They should know about the game of football. If they know anything about the game of football, they should say, you know what, to the owners, whoever sorts out the transfer funds, hey, this guy needs this guy and this guy if you want us to win the Champions League, the Premier League, and whatever else comes with that. That's how I'm looking at it. And if we don't buy no one and we're struggling to get a pair of centre backs to come in like in a league game or something because everyone's really injured, that's our own fault, I think. So we've got to be a bit cautious now and sort of cement these titles by bringing in two good players. Where other teams look at and think, "Wow, there's no catching Liverpool now. They just put this guy in and this guy in." You get me? And it's
I'd bring
sort
in
of even
three.
Pep would be like, bloody hell, they got Zubimendi in and this guy in.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not getting that league title now. So straight away, bang, you did your job by getting a big name in. Football's a weird one, little moves like that in the football transfer world makes coaches worry. Oh God, we got them next. And they've just brought that guy in as well. Oh God, what are we gonna do? It's mad, but it's the truth. And the way we're at now with the points advancement in like the Premier League and the Champions League, if we bring in a guy or two now, team's gonna be thinking, yeah, we mean business,
Exactly. That's what I've always said, man. You put your foot down when people are thinking we might catch them. You're the ones that go out and go, oh, Liverpool are 8 points ahead of us. We might be, and that's like, hang on, what? You wake up in the morning and you go, Liverpool just did what? They just signed who?
Yeah.
I said, oh, okay,
Yeah.
these guys, like you said, these guys are serious. They mean business.
There you go.
I think it makes perfect sense to do but you don't bring in a guy for the sake of it. You don't overpay. You don't try and rip in some guy. But if there's a guy there that can do it, you go out and you go, this guy, this guy, and this guy. I'm a little bit worried that is the plan, but there's a bit of stripping out to be done first. And some of the stripping out may be being done without enough backup. I mean, I think I can see very, very in a low key, very way we're shedding youngsters that aren't stepping up, and that's not really going too reported. But we're clearing out a lot of 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds that were, oh, he's going to be next this, he's going to be next that. It's like, oh, hang on, they've gone, they sold that guy. You know, apparently we're looking at move for Jaden Dans now, things like that. So, but we do need to bring in, I mean, Zubimendi was wanted. If that can be done, just reignite it and do it. But there's no talk on that. Don't go down this whole route of we only want this one guy because he's the best in that position. There should be two or three, but there's just so much shit going on at the moment.
Like for me, Chukwemeni's name gets sort of mentioned quite a lot. I've seen it. If that's possible to do, I'll be doing that deal. I like the way he sort of plays as well. Gets about, could do a job, and that's what we actually need on the pitch. Someone like him. And if that's possible to do, wrap it up then. If you're not going to get Zubimendi, you know, don't waste time because Real Madrid are ready to do business on that deal. Get it done then, you know.
Yeah, they're just little lockdowns in the squad. It's not like you hear someone's bought a guy you've never heard of, and it's like, oh, well, where does he play? Oh, what's he going to do? What's he going to bring to? It's just like, oh, they bought that guy. Okay, that's what and you know instantly what he's going to bring to that team. You don't. You're like, oh shit, they just locked down their number 6 role, or oh shit, they just brought in another. It's not like, oh, Sammy, who? What? He's from Portugal. Some guy. It's like, no, it's like, oh right, okay, I see what they're doing there, and they just gone out and bought possibly one of the best out there to do it. No ambiguity about what they're attempting to do here. They're not trying to be clever or plan for the future. It's just like, no, man, they had a gap and they just went out and they plugged it with possibly the best player on the market. Maybe not the best in the world, top 3, 4. You know, they're not messing around. They're not leaving you wondering, oh, what is their clever plan for this guy?
Yeah, exactly, Kevin. Imagine Chukwemeni and next to Gravenberch in that midfield. You could play 4 forwards then, you know what I mean? No problem. He's probably on a good whack there. Yeah, he's probably on a good wage at Real Madrid. But I think
not crazy money. Not none of that. No,
yeah.
He's on that stupid money, but he brought him in on a youngish. He's not going to be on like 380 grand a week, madness kind of money. He's going to be on Real Madrid money, but not stupidness. Yeah. But
mate, I'd bring him in. He's the one guy. If he's available, get him in, man. That will wrap up everything we need to do.
Yeah, I've had an editorial input. So, you guys, can we talk about Chiesa? Can we talk about Chiesa not getting a shot tonight, and how you're looking at that going? What what's going to happen here? You know, what are your thoughts on Chiesa?
He didn't get no minutes today. It was the perfect game, you know. If he's on the bench, he's ready to play. You know, if he's not ready to play,
it's an L for slot. It's an L for slot. Simple as. No, you can't 2 ways about it, man. The guy's been moaning, he's saying all this and training. We get it, but after a while, the guy's been fit. You know, there's all this speculation. He's homesick, and people jumping onto the news. But he wants to stay. But why should he now? Why should he stay? That's 3 games. He hasn't been used. It's disrespectful, man. It's disrespectful.
And you know what, as well, Atlanta, it shows us that he wasn't a slot signing. He was a club signing. There you go. It shows you there and then. So why the club buying hit that guy in for when you know that guy is not going to get any game time with slot? It's a bit of a mad one, that one.
It just it just goes to show FSG. and the mentality. This is the thing with certain positions. We should not be sitting here and and this year will be 15 years when FSG bought the club. We should not be sitting here saying we've only won one title in 15. It's
True,
poor. No, it's
true.
poor. And yes, it's down to managers. And like I said, I'm with Klopp. Klopp has a bit to blame on certain instances, but the ownership, they got a lot to answer for. In certain instances where we could have took the title home, they have no backs to give the money. And now we're in a situation where the dough is a long way to go, and it's crunch time. It's crunch time, and like you said, treatment of Endo, and then there's now Chiesa is being ignored like he's dead food. Chiesa is like the restaurant that it's like the restaurant that you don't want to go to, and
Hmm.
people talk about that's what he is. He's that restaurant that everyone wants to avoid. It's like a two-star restaurant. That's why Slot is treating Chiesa
You
at
know, like
two,
give
three,
the lad 10 minutes. You know what I mean, bro? Like give him
something,
10 minutes
just
to
something,
just
man. You know what I mean?
feel the pitch again. You know,
Yeah,
just to feel the adrenaline of playing a game. Like you're
yeah,
trying to tell me he couldn't do 10, 15 minutes there.
yeah,
And
I,
this is what I say about Slot. He needs to keep the boat sweet. He needs to keep
yeah,
everyone in the club sweet.
yeah,
You know, because why? You don't want anything to jeopardize the thing that you could win. You could win the Premier League and the Champions League if you play your cards right. But if
yeah,
you're sort of treating sort of certain players with a little bit of lack of respect, it could bite you in the backside in the long run. Hence why, for me, keep it sweet and then sort it out in the summer. You know,
yeah,
you could say to the owners, you know what, I'm not going to play this guy. He didn't play this season. So for me, he can be moved on. But do at the end of the season. But until then, today was the perfect time to give Chiesa 10, 15 minutes, keep him on his toes that he can play on Saturday and maybe have a little taste of Forest on Tuesday. That's how I see football. You know, like use your heart a little bit sometimes, you know. You're trying to tell me Chiesa couldn't do a job against Tottenham for about 10, 15 minutes today.
yeah. He could have, and I don't want to hear. They mentioned I don't hear Slot's excuse and say, "Oh, but this or needing more time and more rhythm, man." I don't want to hear that, man. But I mean, again, flip it out. If he doesn't, I mean, if he doesn't play against Aquitaine, I'm sure he will. Then yeah, but
Oh, if you don't play against Accrington
oh,
Stanley, forget
mate,
about it, bro. It's over. It's
yeah,
done.
yeah,
It's done. He's on 120 grand a week
Yeah,
on a
but
4-year contract, Kevin says.
I
Yeah, it's
get,
a bit of a mad
I
one,
get
that.
that. Yeah, I get that, but that's down to Slot Edwards. Then, if Slot didn't want him, so why is Edwards buying him? So, I mean, there must be something that Slot said. All right, I'll use him because it doesn't make sense. Because they all will be in collaborations with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
They will
Keys
be.
has been
yeah,
on the
but
bench for a while now, then, yeah? So that's showing us, lads, that he's sort of ready to play.
Yeah, he
He's
will
not.
be.
He hasn't got a little niggly injury, or he's not feeling unwell, whatever. He's been on the bench, so I just don't realise that move today. Why didn't he get any game time? It was just a perfect game for him to come on, show England what he's all about for 10, 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's a very interesting take. I find it very strange, very interesting, very strange.
yeah. It's a
Right.
weird one. Like I said, you know.
No, I mean, sorry, I don't mean the decision. I
Oh,
mean, basically, your guys' take on it. I find very strange.
Let me try.
I, I mean, what is the? I mean, what are we basing it on? I mean, it's sort of, it's a guy like to me. It's like if he's not being picked, it's probably because he doesn't trust him to. Yeah, it's okay if you want to make that. Why did he bring him in? That's another thing, right?
yeah,
We
because
said at the time he brought him in, but like if he thought he was good enough, I mean, we've seen stories that he's not applying himself in training properly. We've seen
well,
stories that he's not, so but like
I
that
find
could
it
be
hard.
speculation. Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's speculation. But at the same time, it's speculation. It's like I mean, if Arne Slot thought he was good enough to come on and impact the game in the game we need to win, Arne Slot's job is based on winning games,
Yeah.
winning trophies. It's if he had a player on his bench that he thought, I don't think he's spitefully leaving him on the bench or something like this. I just thought, I mean, if the guy that can't get on, I mean, probably because he doesn't think he's going to be good enough. I'm going to be looking back on this guy's like, why we bring him in? Well, we all knew we brought him in because he was cheap, he was available, a bit of a last minute kind of a stopgap kind of thing. It's not like, oh, why aren't we giving Chiesa a minute? We've all seen what he can do. We've seen what Chiesa can do. We've seen what he can do in this game. We've seen him. It's like, what's the evidence of? Well, we need to bring him on because it seems like it's a bit of an odd one. It's like the slot is getting slack for not bringing on a player that's never done anything for us, barely never even played for us. In a game we were 1-0 down in. It's if you're saying to me, oh, we've got Diaz sitting on the bench, we've got Nunes sitting on, we've got Jota sitting on the bench. I just don't see like Chiesa never performed in any way for our club. So if he had a season and a half of 10 goals, 11 assists, and great performances, I'd be like, yeah, okay, but I just don't see this guy. It's a guy that's never done anything for us. Yeah, he's on the bench, but I think there seems to be a bit of fermenting this that there's an agenda against him from Slot or something like that because he won't bring him on. If he was good enough to come on and play for Liverpool and change the game, I'm pretty sure he will come on. To me, sometimes it's like putting the cart before the horse. It's like if I'm not getting picked to play, it's like probably because I'm not good enough, not because he doesn't like me. I just think he just doesn't think he's going to be able to come on and do something. To me, it's just that simple. Like I
Yeah.
said, the story is coming out that he hasn't been putting in. He's been massively unimpressed by his attempts to get back at fitness. You know,
No, I hear
he
that, bro.
hasn't been impressed by his.
But I find I'm sorry, but I find that hard to believe because the man has, he's been for all the rumors, he put something on the post with the Liverpool shirt and the heart emoji. And again, if you're not that, then why get him? Because end of the day, him Hughes, not Edwards to an extent, because Hughes is the main relation. So Hughes would have said to him, "Look, got Chiesa, etc., etc. Do you want him? Because the final buck will go with Slot." He could have said, you know what? No, I don't want him. And look, last season, the Kaiser wasn't injured. He played a lot of games. He played a lot of games, a full season for Juve. He only when he came in after the start, that's the thing. And he's been fit. And he's not a rubbish player. He's a quality player. On form, he's just as good as Diaz and Gakpo. Some might say better if he's on form. So again, he's fit. He should be used. I don't get it. I just there's no excuse. You say you don't rate him, but what? No point buying him. It's pretty simple for me. And again, when we're in a game, it's not like when a game when Salah is having a bad game. Mate, listen, no play. I don't. I know there's players that are better than others, but no player is untouchable. If someone's having a bad player, your manager to make decisions and put players on, put him on. Let's see. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah,
He's
no, not that. I'm not saying it isn't
yeah,
weird or it
yeah,
isn't unusual. I'm like, we bought this guy. He's Chiesa. We know it's
yeah.
not like it's like, hang on, someone's having to look him up. Who was it? He's fucking Chiesa. We know who he is, right? It's like, yeah, it is weird that he's not playing. I'm not sitting here going, oh, what do you expect? He's not playing. No, it is genuinely unusual that he isn't getting in the team. So it's just like I see it from like, okay, what has this lad done wrong that he can't get in this team? Whereas other people are looking at from a kind of uh, what does he have to do kind of thing. It's just like I'm just thinking, look, man, if you can't get in this team, that's probably because you ain't good enough. Football is one of the few meritocracies left on the planet. Where managers will pick the best people regardless of who they are because they will win them games, therefore win them trophies and keep them in their job. If you're not good enough to play for a manager, I don't normally see a vendetta or an agenda. it's like, why did you bring him in? I think he was probably just informed that it was a thing that it could be happening. I don't think he went to bat for him entirely, and he just said, "Look, he came in the job late. He didn't get a lot of transfers. We all know that. I just don't think Slot was the guy. I want Chiesa. You need to get me Chiesa." I just think it was a thing that worked for all parties. He said, "Look, we'll have a go at it. We'll see if it works." It hasn't quite worked. To me, it's not that complicated. To me, it's just it's a transfer that we tried, cheap, hasn't quite worked. Looks like it isn't going to work, but I'm not blaming the manager or the player. It's just that kind of thing. I don't expect him to play Chiesa just to keep Chiesa happy, and I don't expect Chiesa to kind of not kick up a stink. I don't know. I just think it's one of those ones that just hasn't quite worked out. He looks good, but look, we are where we are without him. We're top of the league. We're top of the Champions League. We're semi-finals of the EFL Cup, and we've done all of it basically without this guy playing any minutes. So I just don't see where what we can point to that he's done for us that we can say, well, he should be playing because he's done X, Y, or Z. It's all based on what he might do.
No, I get that, bro. But the squad is there to be used. So regardless if he hasn't had minutes or not, well, what's the point of having him in the squad? I mean, he needs again. It was Elliot, whether it's Chiesa, they need minutes to games to play to prove their worth. So, and that's it. Pretty much simple. Otherwise, then this season's going to be another flop of the season. Then because players need to be rested. Like I said, at some point Salah has to be rested. At some point, PVD has to be rested. Now, Darwin the edges, all right. Now, regardless of players or whether you do rate them or not, like I said, in the transfer committee, you bring a subset of players and you're asked to theatre whether you rate them or you want to try. You can say no or you can say yes. The manager has. He said yes to Chiesa, regardless of whether it's first or second choice. Something. Chiesa, unfortunately, has been, boggled a little bit. He gave him 1 or 2 games and had this mystery injury. I think there's more to that, what's going on, but we never know until when he leaves about this injury or whatever, or non-injury, whatever it is. And now he's been back. He's been fit. Slot French love you saying he needs to come up to our fitness. He needs to come up to our fitness. He's been fit. He's sent posts on his Instagram. He wants to give it a shot, and he's not getting even like JK 10 minutes. So then what is it then? Something has to give. I'm not like you said. It's not an agenda, but then why get again? It's simple as why get him? These players in the squad they need to be used. If we're not gonna buy in January and FSG gonna do the stupid thing and not buy it, then who you got in the squad? You have to use them because that means if we go to the end of the season, it's gonna be the typical from where we are now. No trophies. We don't win anything in thirds. Yes, it's gonna be another. We're gonna be questions are gonna be asked. So you know. And Robert, I disagree with him with about he hasn't got it because he hasn't got it. He wouldn't be at this club. Just things have happened, and you know, yeah, Slot watches him in training. That's fine, but this doesn't mean that he shouldn't be getting game time. There's players that have trained well for the club. They don't get game time, so it's here or there. You know what I mean? Speculation will be speculation at the end of the day.
It is, yeah. It is definitely. To me, sometimes I just wonder: is it do you want these players to play because you think they should be playing? Because it sounds to me, it's like if you're going to have an Endo, if you're going to have a Semi, if you're going to have a Chiesa, if you're going to have this, you should use them. But it's mainly people want them played, but it's because that would allow other people to get rests as opposed to wanting those people. It's like because if you had this guy and play this guy and play, then Grav could get a rest, and then Robbo can have rest, and this guy can have rest. Not because you want those people in the team as such, It's just more so if you have these guys in the background, like Endo, like Simi, but you never play them, then what's the point of having them? Because those are the guys that you should be able to bring in for 10 minutes here or 20 minutes here or a game here or a game there, which means you don't have to play Gravenberch every game. You don't have to play Robbo every game. You don't have to play BBD every game. You don't have to play, who's the other dude up the front, that guy, whoever that is. You don't have to play him every game. You know, it's like that's the point I see kind of difference making is people going, they're kind of like, it's more to do with, well, what's the point having these guys sitting there in the background doing nothing? We should at least give them a few minutes rather than people are saying these guys should be playing because they're good enough to make an impact. You know, so those guys I could kind of give a fuck less of a fuck about, if you know what I mean. Because that to me is just, well, we're just talking about backups here.
But
Do you know what I
to be
mean?
yeah, I know what you mean, Brian. But all the players you mentioned can come in, and yeah, the backup they all can do a job. Apart from Casey, who hasn't had enough minutes, who hasn't really had anything we can really judge him on. The all players can do a job unless they're being sold. So as much as yes, they're backups, right? They all players they're capable of doing job for us if we want to rest 1 or 2 games. You know what I mean? So
But that's the point I'm making on that.
yeah,
Is like he
yeah.
doesn't trust him to do that job. So
Oh,
we're not resting these players. So it's like, what is the
that's it.
point of
That's on
having
him
these
then.
guys?
No,
Yeah,
I hear
no,
you,
he
Brian, but
didn't
that's
buy
on
Endo,
him
but
then.
he didn't
And the
buy
boy.
Endo, but he didn't buy Endo. He
I
didn't
know,
buy Endo.
but
He
then,
didn't
but
buy
that's
Simicast.
I
So
know,
it's
but that's
on these players to move these guys out, is what I'm
well, yeah,
saying,
yeah, yeah.
and bring in
Well,
a guy who he goes, oh well, uh, I won't start him every game, but I give him a lot more minutes than I would to Endo. Therefore,
mm,
I can rest Grav. This
mm,
is the point I'm getting at. If you got three guys sitting there who he doesn't rate, doesn't like, let's just say Simi, Nunez, Endo. If you're like you guys are saying, if you're not going to use them, right? Well, replace them with three players who you will use and are higher grade versions of resting Robbo, resting BBD, resting and or resting Gravenberch. Because if you don't bring in, if like you're, I'm agreeing with you guys. If you got these guys sitting there and you ain't going to use them, they're no good to you and they're no good to us. So replace them with three people who you will give more minutes to in those positions, rather than just bringing in Endo when there's 8 minutes left in a game or 3 minutes left in a game. Bring him in for a game instead. You know, we need people who he is trusting to bring in so we can rest more of these players. This is like, I'm agreeing with you guys. I'm just saying he obviously doesn't rate these guys that do. So just fucking turn it over, man. If he doesn't rate Chiesa, it was an experiment. Send him back to Italy in January. You know, just you tried, it didn't work. But yeah, I don't see the point of having Endo sitting there on the bench and some of these guys sitting there on the bench and knowing they're never going to play on 100 grand a week, 120 grand a week. Bringing guys who can come in for Graf for 2 games. I don't think it's that difficult to get players who can do that.
no, 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 Brian. So, like like I've been consistent. The next month, February the 5th, at the end of the transfer window, will tell us all. Really, after that, it will
Oh,
tell us
yeah.
the whole story. So
Yeah,
we just have to wait
exactly.
and see.
It changes completely, doesn't it? Though, if we bring in a
Mm.
Zubimendi, it's like even
Oh
if we
yeah,
just brought in a Zubimendi, we're like, oh, okay,
yeah,
done something there, done something real good. You know, done something real solid there.
yeah,
You know, that like, okay, I can see what they're trying now. I can see what they're doing.
yeah.
They've locked down this position. It's like, and it would just be one transfer. It's not going to upset the whole apple cart. They're going to throw everybody out of whack. You know, it's just a simple little increase, addition, improvement. You know, just that little bit of a thing. We don't need to go out and do a Chelsea and go 200 million. But look, as I said before, people, oh, you don't need. We bought Diaz in January. We bought Gakpo in January, didn't we?
Yeah.
No, I thought, did we buy Gakpo in
Yeah,
January?
yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah,
January,
yeah,
yeah.
we bought.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we
Mm.
bought Gakpo in January. We bought Diaz in January. We bought
Virgil?
Suarez in January. We bought Virgil in January. Like, yeah, it's a hard month to buy, but we gone out and made some serious additions in January.
Yeah, man. It's
You know,
there. Like for me, now's the time to pounce on certain signings we could do. You know, Shukameni is the number one for me. A guy who can who's solid. I think it will be a top player in the Premier League. That's one guy I'd be straight away. If you want to sort of, would Real Madrid let us have him? That's the question. You know, that's the only one.
Probably
That's the
not.
only. I don't think they would. That's my
Yeah.
opinion. They
Yeah,
say,
okay.
look, we're taking Trent off you. We ain't going to give you Shukameni. We've got to play you in the Champions League, you know? So I was thinking, I can't really see
if
that
they
Shukameni
did
one.
one, JK, if they said to us, "Oh, hey man, you know you're interested in Chimay. If you want to do a deal for Trent in January, yeah, we'll let you talk to him. We'll knock a few. We would. Oh, I'd be like, no, okay, I heard there's something wrong with that guy. Yeah, now I know there is. If they're happy, if they are happy to get a rich Chimay, I'm like, okay, because I've heard there's some shit going on there where so. Hey, it might not be. I'm sure he's a great player, but whatever's going on there, I would just take a second look if they're really happy to get rid of him. Because he's falling out with people there, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe he just needs, you know, a different hand around his shoulder or whatever. Yeah, he is playing. He's playing this season, but this is rumored that they're happy to sell him or whatever. That's just what they do, right? You know? That's just what they do. They let out these little stories or bits and pieces. So it's so hard to really know what to do with. But it'd be, someone said earlier on swap Trent for Chimay. I mean, could you imagine? You know, Trent's worth about 10 million quid on the open market now with 6 months left on the deal. Chimay's probably worth about 80. That ain't gonna happen. You know, it's like that ain't gonna happen. Like the only thing you'd hope is like if you did want, or not hope, but if we were interested in Chimay and we were talking to them, maybe you could open up a line of communication. But even that's been shown in the past that you don't even need to do that. You don't need, if you want to buy a player from a club and they want to sell it, you can have the worst relationship in the world. They'll just take your money.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, they don't get on well with that guy. They offered 70 million quid for their player. They're going to take it. They'll get on for the 5 minutes. You know, yeah. Sometimes I'm just worried when a club like Madrid is happy to get rid of someone, but also it's Madrid. Everybody can go there and get chewed up and spat out.
True.
So it is real hard to know. It's real hard to judge someone. It's like I know chefs. I know amazing chefs, and they went too early and they went to work in Michelin star restaurants and they got chewed up and spat out. You know, you think I'm going, oh, he must be shit then. No, these guys are still knocking out of the park today. We just went too young, too early. You know, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, Pace didn't fit
Happens to the
picture.
best of us.
Yeah.
Just happens to the best of us. Wrong place, wrong time, but just, you know. But I've seen it. They went too young, too early. I'm going to go to, yeah, come on. But they could work there tomorrow. They could go back there tomorrow and get a job there. But they just went, you know, I wouldn't judge any young player. Oh, he went to Madrid at 20 and didn't work out. Yeah, come on, man. You know, you're the most high pressure cooker environment on the planet at 20 years old. You can't write those kind of guys off.
Yeah.
You know, the Goulairs, the Kubus, Martin Odegaard went there.
Odegaard.
You know, yeah, they said, nah, he's not good enough. Get rid of him. Look what he's doing now. Well, yeah, look what he was doing maybe 18 months ago.
He would have been perfect for Liverpool, him, Odegaard.
Quality
he was
player.
a perfect player. Perfect
Beautiful
player for Liverpool.
player. Yeah.
He is. And I don't really think the Arsenal fans respect him enough. Like, I've heard some of their fans like, he's not good enough. Even recently, you know, I'm like, yo, he's your best player. Sorry, but he is.
You boys can answer that for Dara. Dara says, I missed the game. How did we play?
Bless her, Dara.
Yeah,
Dara even said that we got Sturridge and Coutinho in January.
Yeah, Spurs, Coutinho. Yeah, exactly.
How did we
We've done
play?
great
We
business.
didn't. I would say we didn't really play. We were like second gear most of the game. I think when Trent, Darwin, and Diaz came on, we went up to like third gear a little bit. But we didn't really control the game at all. I think we were happy with the 0-0. That's the flow I was getting. We got sort of caught out with their goal. Kanate was going to India, the way he was sort of running. God knows where he was going, and we sort of got done by Solanke there. So they just nipped a 1-0 lucky goal. Guy who scored the goal shouldn't have maybe been on the pitch. That's another thing about the game. But all in all, disappointing. Is sort of disappointing. But I just felt that Slot was like, you know what? I don't want to go full throttle, get injured, get injuries, and win the game and this and that. He was like, I'll take a 0-0, take it back to Anfield. That's all I got from the game.
Yeah, we're going to take that 1-0. Like I said, Dara, you give us a 1-0 handicap against Spurs at home most days of the week and say, yeah, Liverpool will win that 3-1. But we're going to have to go and do that now. We were very disappointing, Dara. We were very strong, very, very strong. The 11 was changes were in it, yeah, but not huge ones. Kwanzaa goes off, Endo comes on, but very, very like the Man United game in terms of good for 30 seconds or 2 minutes, and then bad for 5 minutes, and then good for a minute, and then hang on, where's the ball gone? Just no consistency, no rhythm, no real kind of control over the game. But neither did they, not in terms of like, but they were also controlling the game. It was just sort of like that mini basketball game again, just bits and pieces for each team and losing physical battles. Decisions, yeah, the people will talk about the decisions, but we all know it doesn't come down to that more often than not. If there was bits and pieces, the guy who scored the winner shouldn't have been on the pitch because he was on a yellow and should have had a yellow. But in my opinion, the first yellow he was on, it wasn't a yellow because there's no contact. He has dived. But yeah, I know that won't be to most people's taste. But yeah, look, a real disappointing game, bit of a head scratcher. That's the way I would put that game. Bit of a head scratcher. Kind of like the United game. It's kind of like, where are these performances coming from? Because we don't look terrible, right? We're not getting cut open. We're not looking awful. It's not like, oh, what's happened to Liverpool? They're really bad now. It's just kind of like, no, that still kind of looks like us, but we're not finishing it off. Do you get what I'm saying, guys? Do you know what I mean by that? Like, it's just sort of like,
Yeah,
we
we're
don't
not
look like the
looking poor, but we're not
crazy
looking
bad.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like we're just missing that kind of
But it's
bit where
not
we do it
really
for the whole game. It's just happening in spurts now.
like 2 games where we've not been great. And the way certain fans will be saying it's like 2 defeats. It is in a way, but realistically, it's like a point against United. I've said this before. It's a point against United, our enemies, and it's a 1-0 away defeat in a 2-legged game. Next game at Anfield. So you could look at it in that way. But I just see that we're not really flowing. That's what I'm saying. We're not flowing. Why aren't we flowing? I think Man
Teams have
United sort of,
managed to figure out how to interrupt our flow,
yeah,
haven't they?
yeah,
I think that's what, to me,
yeah.
JK,
But
that's what I'm
Tottenham
seeing.
weren't. I think Tottenham were great as well. It was a bit of a lackluster sort of semi-final first leg. That goal just sort of highlighted that Tottenham beat us. Them fans are going to be jumping on the bandwagons. Arsenal fans will as well. It's going to disrupt our league flow. That's what's going to be happening now. Man City fans, look at Liverpool. They lost to Tottenham. Hoping that would derail us in the Premier League title push. And that's what you said on a number of occasions that for me, it's all about the league title. Everything else is a little Brucey bonus, But for me, the league title and that Forest game, that's what I'm really thinking about now, is that Forest game. I'm not going to give Forest that too much respect. You know, when you give teams too much respect, like we did against United, what happened? We could have lost that game there. We got a point out of it. That's not overconfidence. That's like, let's be tough now. You know, don't show these guys too much respect. And that's why against Forest, we need Virgil and Salah and McAllister to show them guys not too much respect. And that's what I'm looking at now. You show teams respect, what will happen? You won't win those games. And I think against United, we showed them a bit too much respect. And against Tottenham as well today. I think us playing in second gear, we showed them a bit too much respect. They've got a new goalie in. He ain't been in the country for 48 hours. Pelter him with shots. Try anything. It don't matter, you know? And we really didn't do that. Because by the time Darwin came on and took them 2 shots, he already sort of built a little bit of confidence, thinking, you know what, this is my first game against Liverpool of all teams, the best team in the world right now, and they haven't scored yet. Yeah, life's good. You know what I mean? That's what he was thinking. So when Darwin came and did them 2 chances, bang, he saved them both. Yep. You got to think about it like in that way. Like the manager should have said to the lads before they went on the pitch, "Hey lads, this guy's new, their goalkeeper. Let's welcome him."
Yeah, but I'm not giving Darwin. No, but I'm not saying like that. This guy only saves the chances against Darwin because we didn't finish our earlier chances. Like that's a kind of a get out of jail for Darwin.
No. I'm just saying the guy should have had to deal with more before Darwin gave him 2 shots to save. We should have done more damage to that goalkeeper. You know, it's like we didn't do nothing. Jota, Gakpo, and Salah in that first half did nothing. You know, so he's thinking, you know what? Happy holidays. First half, job done. Second half, yeah. So every minute that went on with us not really doing anything or testing him, he was sort of thinking, yeah, happy days. You know, I think that's what we sort of missed a trick there. I think we could have gave him a bit more to deal with. You know.
Yeah, but you got to get that ball in front of the guy, right, to take those shots. You know, I mean, all over the pitch. We're not getting ourselves. It's not like we should have had more shots because we didn't take them. You know, we didn't get the opportunities to do that. You know,
we didn't really create them chances.
We didn't even get near. Like I know what you're saying, man. Yeah, Pepper the guy, but how many chances did we actually make? To actually
Pepper the
do
guy.
that?
Yeah, we didn't.
None.
You know, none. And that's why, because the tactics were first, second, maybe third gear tactics. It wasn't like 4th gear from the start. Let's push it to 5th.
Dude,
because there's a new goalie in town. Because there's a new goalie in town.
That team to me looked like a 5th gear team to me, though. I mean, that team didn't look to me like a 4th gear or a 1st or 2nd gear team.
No, that was like bang, let's go for
team
it.
that says, wow, yeah, he's pretty much other than, yeah, he could have said whatever, you know, Diaz or something, but pretty much other than that, that was it, man. That was a Premier League team.
Yeah, that was like a Premier League fixture. We could have gone with that team, maybe.
Yeah, Bradley and Simicast, that's easy, you know, swap them out. Yeah. You know, they could both have played, and they both have played in Premier League games. There,
yep.
That ain't like us bringing in people who don't know,
never played,
who having to look up who that guy is. Everybody knows who these guys are. You know, it's not like a Scanlon or a Beck or something like this or Norris. You know, everyone knew who the people were playing for us were, so no excuses out there whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Real disappointing. Real fucking disappointing.
Real disappointing. Like, not enough shown in the desire that we want to go out from London with a win. It was like, you know what, lads, keep it sweet, 0-0, we'll take it back to Anfield. That was the agenda today. I knew that. Mm-hmm.
Well, I asked Nolante before the game, would he take a 0-0 if it ended up in a situation like that? You know, I would have taken it at 0-0 when, you know, 30 seconds before they scored, right?
Yeah, straight away I was thinking I'm taking a 0-0, you know what I mean? Yeah, I would have took. Look, at the end of the day, any away game, in a cup semi-final, 2-leg. In the old days, when you went to Old Trafford in a 2-legged semi-final, you're like, oh, I'm taking a draw there. You know, it was just like the go-to thing to say. I think this Tottenham team, and with the team we had to start, that weren't really let's go there and take a draw. You know, that was let's go there and nick a few goals. Team.
Group chat, guys.
Robert's saying that if Robbo and Trent started, we would have won that game.
Maybe.
Well, Trent looked really good when he came on.
Yeah,
it was good to
attacking
see
wise,
it.
he's better. Yeah, attacking
Yeah.
wise, he's back to his old self. Defensively, maybe not sure about that, but yeah, attacking wise, he was the Trent of old. Yeah, him and Nunes are the best two chances, really. But yeah,
Yeah, Nunes and Trent looked lively when they were on. That was good to see. Good to see, man.
all right. 12 has
Losing
a
with the kids would have been better.
12 has a question for.
You gone on mute there. Okay. I know you're not on mute, but we can't hear you.
No, so 12 was saying,
Okay.
are we concerned about us losing and drawing the last two games back to back?
Not
totally.
really.
I am.
I'm just a bit disappointed in the displays in them two games and the energies. I think, as I was saying, it's a 1 point against United and it's a 1-0 loss in a first leg in a leg game. So I'm not going to go OTT with it, but I just felt like that we haven't been looking or playing any good football like we have been, and that's the only thing worrying about it.
I am concerned that we don't have. I'm concerned that we have. Let me see. A lack of depth, an extreme lack of depth, not in numbers, not in numbers at all, but in quality that allows us to deal with this inevitability of people coming to terms with our game, people knowing more about Arne Slot, how he wants to play, and the fact that we basically just use the same players all the time, knowing what they'll do. Like I've talked about how devastating Cody Gakpo can be, with the Robin thing, you cut in, you bend it top corner. It's simple, it's predictable, but you can't stop it if it's done well. But also at the same time, if it doesn't work well, you know what we're going to do, you know what our threats are. And we have a serious lack of options in terms of doing different things on the team. So yeah, I think our team, not saying it's been found out, but it's been analyzed more. People know what to do against us more. They know what our weaknesses are. They know what we don't like. Like we spoke about Arne Slot giving away in the press conference how annoyed he was by teams playing that way against him. So there's your Liverpool versus us 101 what to do if you want to play that way. So I think, I think that it shows that there's a lack of depth in our squad. Not the depth of quality or whatever, just depth of players that Arne Slot is prepared to use in this team. And I think we need options there very, very quickly, because otherwise one or two more injuries and we could end up in a position where, hang on a minute, we're 11 points ahead, now we're 2 points ahead of somebody. So yeah, I am worried. I am worried that.
Sabotsalai coming back will be like a new signing.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's like for me. Him and Chiesa never played today. You're trying to tell me them two go out and do a job against them not today?
Yeah, but it wasn't that. I don't know. I mean, he's needed, but it wasn't the fact of that. I'm not even concerned with that. I'm concerned that the team was good enough, and they've won games before that. They were just all on the par, even though they weren't great. And my concern is these players need to get back to basics, because apart with only the squad is obviously injuries have kind of subsided a little bit. Gomez and Kwanzaa, I'll take that back, but yeah. These players need to get back, and obviously welcome back Sobo and Chiesa, and hopefully he can put a bit of energy. Just the team just needs to wake up. That's all I'd
Big
say.
time.
'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not even looking at Accrington. I'm looking at Forest. That's a big, massive game. And as good as Forest have, and they're the only team that beating us. I'm not going to accept nothing less than 3 points.
Simple as.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it, man. Yeah,
I want
yeah,
3 points they took off us. I want them
yeah.
back.
Exactly. And we owe them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Slot has referred to Forest quite a few times in interviews. So I hope
Yeah.
he uses that to get that players motivated and just to wake up a bit.
Yeah.
Because I don't want this to just
lads,
lose. Yeah,
lads, if we play like we did against United, against Forest,
yeah.
we'll
I know. Yeah.
get our ass kicked. Because Forest are a better version of what Man United did against us. Ipswich did it against us first game of the season. That goes a bit unnoticed. We had big problems there. Ipswich did very, very similar things. That's why Liam Delap ends up getting Kwanzaa taken off at halftime. They played a very similar game. They caused us very similar problems. That is the playbook right now. If you're a manager wanting to do something against us, that's your playbook right there. Ipswich nearly got a result against us. Forest too. And Manchester United doing it the way that Forest did it. So I am really nervous about going there, expecting to just go our way against them, because this is going to be an even better version of the Forest that we faced. That is the only team to beat us this season in the league. We're overlooking this. This is Arne Slot's kryptonite right here in front of us. Teams who play like this. Teams who don't play the tactical game where, everybody kind of says, oh, we're going to play chess properly, right? And these guys just come, no, I'm just going to knock all the pieces over. How are you going to deal with that? It's just about scattering the game, making it like, oh, it's not about tactics, it's not about this, it's just about physical battles now. Long ball. Can you deal with that?
Okay.
That's what
So,
they're going to do against us, man.
Brian, like when you look at the squad we've got available, who are you going with in that game against Forest then? That'd be like interesting to hear. Who you having up top or in defence, or you got your regulars.
You have to have
Listen,
Ibu. You have to have Ibu and BBD in the middle. You have to have physicality all over the pitch. You have to have physicality. So you need Robbo, physical, combative. You need him rested though. You need Ali. You need BBD. You need Ibu. Right back, probably going to get targeted, whether it's Trent or Bradley. If it isn't Trent, it'll be Bradley. So he's a young player. He'll still be targeted. He's not exactly a powerhouse. So take your pick. Then in midfield, yeah, McAllister, natural for a game like that, kicking people all over the pitch. He's going to go toe to toe with people. Grav is a shoe in. Then maybe Dom. Yeah, Dom's a big, strong lad right there. Gakpo, Salah, pretty much obvious. And then either you go with Jota or Diaz. But if you wanted to bring in a Nunez, no, because he's going to get wound up. He's going to get sent off. He's going to get yellow card. He's going to do nothing. Right. So either do it that way or do it the other way.
He scored the winner there last season, nah? Yep. Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, he did. The header, yeah.
Yeah, it's like an advent
calendar.
Things he did right. It's like 12 days of Darwin, then 10 days he did something. No, I'm only messing. But look.
I mean, yeah, but like for me, if he plays, I think he might surprise them. Like for me, if Darwin comes in and scores, like job done, who cares, But for me, with the team that you just said, I'd rather go with Szoboszlai than Jones, because I think Szoboszlai will offer
I
something
went
more
Dom.
energetic.
Yeah, I had Dom in it. Yeah, I had Dom in my team. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go with that one there. It's just for me that number one position in the middle. Who do you want to put there? You got three guys to choose from,
You can go Techie with Diaz. You can go.
I'm going Diaz.
Line with Nunez. You can go with Jota.
I think with Diaz, I'm going with him because.
Oh God, sorry, you're being stupid. Darwin is suspended. Yeah. Don't be
Yeah,
stupid.
he's
Darwin's
suspended. Okay, we've
suspended.
got two
Yeah,
guys
so it's
then. Yeah.
irrelevant. So it's irrelevant. Yeah, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, so for me, Diaz, I'll
Um,
go with Diaz because of we're away. We need someone who can hold the ball for a while in the
were
game.
you boys? Were you boys? I don't want to cut across it. Were you guys? Were you guys disappointed with Jota tonight? I was a little bit disappointed with how kind of he didn't really do anything. I was
Yeah,
expecting a bit more. Were you a bit disappointed with how Jota played tonight?
he looked really
Yeah.
thin as well. I don't think he was great. Have you ever watched The Big Bang Theory?
No.
Okay, there's whoever what if anyone in the chat, The Big Bang Theory. There's a guy who owns a comic book store. Jota look like this guy today, man. He looks so weak and thin. I'm like, yo, man, he looks like the guy who owns a
Oh,
comic
he
book store.
always looks weedy. Jota always looks weedy, man. He's always looks like very kind of
Frail, you know.
wiry and weedy and kind
But he's a
of
tough little cookie, though, Jota. But
yeah.
I was a bit disappointed. I think, phew, was he involved in the game? Not really,
Nope.
you know. I think all our attackers were pretty poor today when you really look at it. Like we didn't score a goal. That says it all.
Well, yeah. That would be the kind of the base metric for it. Yeah. But even on a kind of just watching the game was like, nah, he didn't do much. He didn't do much. He didn't do much. He didn't do much. I mean, it was Gakpo had a couple of minutes, or not minutes, a couple of moments.
Mm-hmm.
Salah, a couple of bits
You,
and pieces, maybe.
you know,
That was
like you were
really about
saying
it.
about like Gapco, the Robin thing where he comes in and cuts and scores, cuts in
Yeah.
and scores. Like for me, you know what I would do? Like he's going to be used to defenders sort of marking him in that way where they know that he's going to try to cut in and score. I'll do them little slide balls in, you know, them little ones where like a Curtis Jones or a Salah just pops in from the other side and just runs onto his pass instead of him shooting. That's the sort of thing Gapco needs to do with in that sort of position when he's got that ball out wide right where he comes in and shoots. Sometimes just do a little shady little smooth ball in, mix it up a little bit. So they're like, oh, what's he going to do now? He's going to do a little shady pass or he's going to shoot. It messes with the defenders' heads, you know. If he's always going to shoot in them positions, they're used to it, you know. Mix it up a little bit there.
Slim Shady, man. Slim Shady,
Mm-hmm.
he's wiry, right? He's I just liked him tonight, but it's just when you see Jota at his best, it's sort of like he's like, what kind of guy is he? He's not number 9, he's not number 10, he's not wide, he's not left, he just kind of does it all, but he
Mm-hmm.
just pops up in these right little places at the right little times. But if you could get him to stitch that together for like 2.5 seasons, 3 seasons, what a player you'd have.
Mm-hmm.
What a player you would have. But did anybody else think, and I think someone mentioned it there, Kevin said, Tosin, no, it wasn't that guy, but tonight when he was running through and someone tackled him from behind and landed on him, was anybody else just thinking, oh, here we go again? Because this would be the most Jota thing of all time. He gets tackled from behind, the guy lands on him. Because that's been the last 2 injuries. Basically, is he gets
Yeah.
tackled from behind and someone lands on him.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. I don't know what the Spurs guy was that landed on him. It's just like, oh man, But yeah, I just really genuinely disappointed in him tonight.
Mm-hmm.
There was no shots on target. I don't think. No Jota popping up in little positions, causing problems for again like a completely cobbled together, thrown together, even stitched together back line. You know,
Yeah, but they
we
had
should we should have caused them a lot more problems. Jed Spence, Dragazin, Gray, and
Porro.
Porro.
Mm.
I mean, that's just literally the last line of like 4 people who are paid to play for the club. Other than that, they're bringing in children, kids. We really should have caused them a lot more issues.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play that. back four has never played football together in a proper game, ever. And it was up against us, Salah, Jota, Gakpo, Mac, Grav. And we didn't make them look like what they were. Was very disappointing.
Mm-hmm. We didn't test them, nothing. Like,
At least come out
there.
No. And to make it worse, no goals against a Tottenham who got a makeshift back four is even more embarrassing. I'm sorry, I'll go be blunt.
And a brand new goalkeeper. And a brand new
it was just embarrassing for us tonight, and they better put it right at the second leg, because much as I'm not bothered about the League Cup, I'm not gonna say. I'm just being kind for now, but yeah, it was embarrassing, and these players have got to fix up front, up the top, man. Like I said, Mo, as good as he was lucky to stay on it. I would have taken him off. He looked proper out of sorts tonight.
And this isn't about Nunes. This isn't about.
No, we're talking about the whole.
These are about the main men. These are the main men.
Everyone, all the fans were
Salah, Gakpo,
who've been brilliant. Diaz, he had a bit of running power, but he didn't do enough. Nunes should have scored, and then he had the difficult one, which he reacted which was good for him. Good save. But apart from that, they were sloppy with the ball, passes. It was like, again, I don't know. It was like, I don't know what to describe them for. It's like a pub team. It's just sloppy. It's like a drunk man at the pub. The passes were sloppy. There's no play. It was just like, just overdoing stuff. Flipping hell, mate. At this rate, when Trent came in, he should have just put him up front or right back, because attacking wise, he
started having go, didn't he? He started having
he done more than all of them really put together. It's just bad, didn't it?
I think he recognized, sometimes you see a player come on, they recognize, lads, what are you doing? You need to start having pops here. Somebody needs to have a crack here. It's just, I think that I got very much that vibe from Trent. It's like this party is kind of, someone putting on a tune, realizing that the party is kind of running out of steam. It's like, lads, you what are you doing here? He tried to inject life. He had a crack. He could see what was going on. It was just so flat, man.
Yeah,
everything was just so flat.
Yeah,
Bits and pieces. There's nothing worse than bits and pieces. Where you just like, it's, we did that, and then nothing happens. When it's just kind of coming off mistakes from them. It's like, we got, they made a mistake, and then we put two passes together. It's just like, we're not actually putting anything real strong on the picture for a team like we had out, man.
Yeah,
really, really.
It was flat. It's very, very disappointing. Difficult. And I didn't like the way Van Dijk had a little smirk on his face when he was answering, when he's asking about the questions about the defeat. And come on, man, that's like, it's just, we're taking this seriousness. And now Salah, after your, again, I'm just going to be honest. After your, again, mentioning my last contract, your last two games, you've been poor. You've been poor. You've come in that again, and you've been poor. So you need to get back to what we know you do, and let's just get back to winning ways, man. I think Slot needs to put a rocket up some of these players' asses. Excuse the pun. Like, rest all of them, apart from obviously Bradley, Tsimikas, because I'm sure they're not going to play against Forest. Or the ones that they're not going to play against Forest that started today, play them. The others rest and put rocket up their asses and just say, look, boys, that weren't good enough, man. Let's just like bring it up, because Trent came on. He played like a guy that's been told off. They said, you know what, and obviously no manager really is going to call a player out, even if he has a stinker. But we Slot had words with him. You can tell as a man sort of said, "Yo, Trent, get it together." So, and obviously, like you said, Brady came and he's like, you know what, there's certain things I can do. So yeah, I know we moved, but I'm 100% worried about Forest. I am worried, and
I am very worried.
I want to see the team that beat West Ham that started this season from. That's the team I want to see. That beat Real Madrid and City. It's in the space of a week. That's the team I want to see, because man, I want to see
Nalante, I don't know what you boys think about this. I'll bring it back up. I think there was a huge fuss made out of nothing, an enormous fuss. Hey, guess what? News flash, big fuss made out of nothing. That there was arguments in the dressing room after the Manchester United game, and as I said multiple times, I would be shocked and disgusted if there wasn't. You know, if after a Man United game, all our players went back to our dressing room and were sitting there saying, "Hey, tally ho, lads, don't worry, we'll get him next time. We were unlucky." No, I want people kicking off. I want people kicking off. That's what you should be doing. That's what you will be doing. These guys are humans. They're like people think they're what they see on the TV. It's not. They're like me and you. Like they're people telling each other to their face, "You didn't do your fucking job today." Virgil did it on TV by staring Trent out of it. You know, that shit can, people are like, wow, did you hear there was a fight in the dressing room? Is like, you do know that there's pretty much a fight in almost every dressing room after a loss. Every single week, every game, people will go, it's not a fist fight, but there will be a disagreement or an argument in every single dressing room after a defeat. People will say, you should have done this, you should have not. They work it out, they get it out of their system, and they move on. Next day, they train together. People were trying to make out this huge deal that they were fighting in the Liverpool dressing room after the Manchester United game. It's like, if we all walked into that dressing room after that game and nobody was angry about it, they should all be sacked. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
There needs to be anger. There needs to be anger.
Exactly. How are you going to
tonight
win
after that game? How are you going to be happy with that tonight? How are you going to be happy with that?
Oh, there'll be words. There'll be words.
It should be words. Yeah. Exactly. There should be fucking words. Exact words should be had. This is what I'm trying to get at. People are like, wow, did you hear they were arguing?
Who cares? That's standard. That's standard.
I would be shocked if you told me there weren't arguing.
Yeah,
I would be massively worried if you said, oh, there was no, everyone went home happy as Larry that they threw away 2 points against United.
Exactly. And look, you don't have to be a professional footballer to know that we've all played the game, all of us.
Exactly.
And in the chat, we'll play that to some level, whether it's semi-pro and the Sunday league. Yeah, your teammate, or it could be a friend. You play in the same team. They'll get your nerves. They do something you like, when you're arguing. And yeah, you can have a little bit of back and forth after 5-10 minutes, and afterwards you forget about it. You laugh. It's the same on this channel. You and 12 have had disagreements passionately about whether it's a player or the club, about things you do, or FSG, you agree to disagree. And it's passionate, you know what I mean? And you're like, no, you're wrong because this is my point, this is my point. And then afterwards, when we come off, when we're on the private chat, we just forget about it and move on. It happens. It's life. For any team
like
sport,
Robert's saying, if you're happy to lose, if you're sitting there after the game going, oh yeah, don't worry, lads. We lost 4-0, sure we up. Don't worry. No. You think Virgil van Dijk wants to sit there and go, don't worry, but you'll get him next time? No, man, you're affecting my career over here.
Oh,
yeah. I like Robert's comment there. A good bust up is what you need after a poor
Exactly what you need.
Well, yeah, exactly what you need. I mean, some have had punch ups. In the older days, they had punch ups. So it's
and that's how you sort. Yeah, but lads, you see, the thing is, Nilante, you made the best point, man. It happens in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And then the next day, throw it back on the pitch together.
Yeah, just something bad.
It gets worked in about a half an hour, and when it's done, it's done. It's over. It's over.
Yeah.
It's not lingering. It's just like, yeah, we all get it out with the system. You can't sit there going, oh, tally ho, lads, unlucky. You were great today, Jones. You were brilliant. Sure, we'll get him next time. We lost 3-0 at home. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. No, you want people fucking going, come on, man. You need to do better. You fucked up today. But tomorrow, we're going to show up to work. We're going to train together. We're going to live together. We're going to work, And then that's it. You have to get out of your system, but it has to happen. The idea these world-class elite athletes aren't fucking pissed off by, let's just say, Darwin or Simicast having a bad game and costing them a game, of course they're fucking going to be like that. You've all gone home to someone and you're like, yeah, I messed up today. And they're going, yeah, too fucking right you did. You know what? Virgil is like looking at Trent the other day going, you just cost a fucking game over here. I don't care who you are. I'm Virgil. I'm going to tell you, you just did that on live TV with my face. I'm going to tell you. And everyone knows what I'm doing. He's not holding back there. So can you imagine what it's like in a fucking dressing room?
Oh yeah.
And the idea that Darwin was going up against VVD, where's that coming from?
From the same people who created Coronation Street in EastEnders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Imagine Virgil
Classic
working
film.
in the cafe and Darwin pulling pints in the Rovers.
Oh yeah, because ¿Cómo
Never,
estás?
never stop.
Getting the wrong drinks for people. Typical Darwin. I ordered G&T and he gave me a vodka and tonic. Typical Darwin.
And Darwin took it in their face.
Yeah, don't worry. I know Darwin's English is a pretty bit. All right, mate.
Yeah.
But he pulls the pint down. Oh, hey, man.
No, we're not going to do that. We will not do that. 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes. That's plenty of time. Nearly half past midnight. Crazy game. Crazy game.
Crazy game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor performance, man. But
we take him back.
Could have been worse.
We take him back to Anfield. Yeah, JK, we take him back to Anfield, right? Like we say, we give him one goal and we'll do it there.
I mean, the thing is, we got to bloody wait a month. We got to wait a month for it. That's the worst thing. If it was next week, Sam, you know what I mean?
It's annoying. Yeah, I don't know why they changed it to a month. Like
That's
mad.
Yeah, but in a month we'll have Tchouameni and Wirtz and Mbappe and
so we're on them. We're sorted. Yeah.
No worry.
Yeah.
The transfer window will have well and truly happened by the time we play them. So they could have a completely different team. By the time we play them. Considering the people who come back, they could have bought people. Yeah, we could be playing a completely different Tottenham side. And it wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility to maybe even a Tottenham side with a different manager. Maybe. If a couple of more results go against them. It might not even be an Ange team that we play on February the 8th.
Oh.
Could be Phil Mitchell's team. He could be the boss.
Go on.
Go on then, bro. I'll take it.
I'll take it. Where is it? Yeah. That's in the back here. Yeah.
Peggy.
Danny Arches.
Peggy.
Get out of my club. Get out of my club.
Not pub, club.
Want some, yeah? I'm running it, yeah? Damn, boys. It's my turf.
Get out of my club.
Stuff moves quickly in football. So who knows who'll be in charge there? It is, but yeah, I still think we'll do them. I'll get, like I said before, we'll give them 1-0 head start at Anfield and we'll take it from there.
That's it. 1-0 head start. Remember that when you were younger and played against other guys and they were not so good. You were like, we'll give you a 2-goal lead.
Yeah,
that's what
2-goal
we did
lead. Yeah, you call it 2-goal lead. Yeah. We never call head start. Yeah, 2-goal lead. 2-goal lead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You pick teams and they go, hang on, you're after picking all the best guys, and they go, yeah, I know we did it on purpose. So 2-goal lead. Oh, when you played it, I get, that was.
And
that
the game
was
finishes 10-2.
That was the worst when you were you knew it was happening. Yeah, Yeah, and if you know, you know. If you play football in the 80s as a kid, 2-goal lead. If you know, you know.
Neighbours FC. Yeah.
All right, boys.
So
we can. It won't be too kind of weird if we ended on 2 hours and 15. I don't want it. Yeah, I'm like, I know you're like your numerology. 2:14 is a bit. I don't like that. It's not half hour. It's not an hour, but bang on a quarter hour will do. So 2 hours and 15 minutes. Thank you, everybody. Good night and take care.
Night, everyone. Night.